Hello, today we're doing an interview with author Karina Kantas, and she's here to talk to us about her books and her writing process. And I'll go ahead and let you introduce yourself, Karina.
Hello everyone, my name is Karina Kantas. I am from the UK, but I now live in Greece on the island of Corfu. I'm an author of 10 books. Starts off with In Times of Violence, Huntress, Lawless Justice, Road Rage. These are MC thriller romances. Then there is Illusional Reality and Illusional Reality The Quest, which are romantic fantasy. I have two collections of short stories, poetry, and flash fiction, which is Heads and Tails and Undressed. And I also have a young adult novella, which is a supernatural thriller.
Karina, tell us a little bit more about your books.
I started off writing my MC thriller romances, and that ended up being a 4-book series. Since then, I've made In Times of Violence Young Adult Edition, and I'm working on the original to be more 18 to go with the rest of the collection. So it wasn't until I actually came out of the cinema after watching Lord of the Rings that I had the idea for Illusional Reality. That's Illusional Reality, and that's Illusional Reality The Quest.
Do you tend to stick to one genre, or do you branch out with your writing to different genres?
I'm lucky that I can write in most genres apart from sci-fi. I suck at sci-fi. Um, so yeah, I like to branch out. It gets more difficult when you're doing different genres because you have a group of fans that like your book MCs, and then you're coming out with a fantasy. Are they going to read it? So it makes it a little bit difficult. But yeah, I definitely love doing different genres and not sticking to the same one.
That's true. Once you have an established fan base, it's hard to know if they're going to stick with you if you do change genres and just kind of jump into a whole different world. So, but I'm glad that you can move around comfortably into another genre. I mean, that's always a good thing to reach out and do something different. Which would you say was your favorite book to write so far?
What was my favourite book to write? That's like asking who's your favourite child, it's difficult. You spent so much time on them. I love them all equally. I think In Times of Violence is really special because it was my first book, and it has a lot of me in it, a lot of stuff that happened to me as a teen. So I think that In Times of Violence will be my number one book, my favourite book.
It is hard to have a favorite. Um, what do you like most about the writing process? What do you love about it?
The writing part, it's actually the easiest part of it to write a book. You get stuck at some places and maybe you put it down 15 years, pick it up again later like I did. So the writing process, I like it all. I love it when I dream at night and I wake up in the morning and I remember what it was and I know it's to do with my book, so I get that written down. Um, I love going out to coffee shops and sitting there listening to some music while I start writing notes. Gets you out of the house, gets you a different environment. I love that process. Um, the worst process is editing. It's a nightmare. Going through editing hell at the moment. Um, and of course, the hard work comes with the marketing and promoting because you are an indie author.
That's exactly what I was going to ask you next. What do you hate about writing, or what do you dread? What do you think is the most difficult part about the process itself?
Hate is a strong word. I dread when it comes to the editing part of the book. Um, Before it used to be, give it to someone, have a look at it, it's fine. But now that I have a publisher for the Illusional Reality duology, it's a lot more tense. We've done about 5 rounds and we're still going. So, while the fans are desperate for the concluding part, it's only 2 books. I'm still working on it with my publisher and editor.
Can you give us some examples of where or when you find inspiration for your stories?
Yeah, I think my inspirations, they come from dreams. They come from my own experiences in life. Um, I could watch a film and get an idea for a book or an idea for a scene. The same with reading. I don't read as much as I used to. I don't have the time now, but reading a book can trigger ideas, not copying, but it triggers your own idea for what you're writing.
Can you tell us about the defining moment in your life where you realized that you were a writer or even an author? That how that moment was for you?
I was told, because I'm going back like 25 years plus. I was told when I first wanted to publish my book that I would get more chance of getting an agent or a publisher, and that's what we were all looking for because Kindles weren't out. It was all paperbacks. It was a totally different ball game. Anyway, that if you had a good CV of lots of publications that have been published and it looks really good, you have a better chance of getting your foot in the door of the agent's house. So before I even wrote my first novel, I was um, sending short stories, poetry to e-zines, electronic magazines, and some printed magazines, and they were published. And I think the first time where I actually could call myself a published writer, that was a defining moment, was the first thing published, which was a film review of the horror film Constantine. Um, I got paid $10 for that back in, that's long, long time ago. And I framed the check, I didn't even cash it. So yeah, that was definitely my defining moment.
Do you read more indie books, as in books published by a small press, or books that were self-published by an author? Or do you read more trade books? Or do you read an even mix of both, both of them?
Um, the only indie books I read are ones belonging to my clients or author friends. I wouldn't deliberately go out and look for indie books online. Like I said, I don't do a lot of reading now, but when I did, yeah, a lot of them were trade ones because they had long series going, like Mortal Instruments. Um, that was, I think that's still going now, 8 or 9 books. There was Janine Frost's Huntress. That's been going on for ages. Um, Morton, oh, what's it called? Something Vampires. Morgenstein Vampires, I think it's called. That was nearly 12 books. Then you've got the Hunger Games and you've got Twilight. So when you start a series, of course, you're going to go out and you're going to buy the trade books to collect all those books in the series and read them. Um, I don't. I'm not a reviewer. I can find reviews for my clients, but I'm not a reviewer. So when I do read a book, of course, I review it, but I don't read it very often.
Do you have a favorite indie or self-published author that you do like to read when you get the chance?
I can't tell you. I work for so many different people and have worked for so many different authors that I no, it would be wrong for me to name someone. So I think if you put the work in and the time and you do it correctly with the editing and a beautiful cover, I think any author, indie author or self-published author is going to be worth their weight in gold, and everyone should go out and buy their books.
Can you give us the names of a few indie authors that you have read that you wish more people knew about?
Sarah Anderson, sci-fi. Wesley Britton, sci-fi, fantasy, amazing. Um, Victoria Secchi, historical romance. There's Maria Elena Alonso Sierra. She's done a series, international romance series that goes from London to America, and another one goes from Italy to Paris, and beautiful, beautiful stories, thrillers, a great storyline. Um, you have Karen Mossman, who's done a collection of short stories, 3 books. Really, really good stories to get when you're in the mood for short stories, you don't have time to read a big book. Oh gosh, me? Yes. I wish more people would read my books. There we go.
Well, I've read a couple of your books, and I'm definitely ready to read more of them. I definitely enjoyed them. So you have one fan right here. I'm definitely ready to read the sequel to Illusional Reality. I'm looking forward to that one. And I really need to start your MC series too. So don't worry, I will be there to read for you if no one else does. So you have a fan right here. So where do you see yourself in 5 years, 5 years from now? Do you have a writing goal that you want to try to accomplish? Where do you see yourself going?
Okay, so I'm working on the concluding part of Illusional Reality, The Quest. When that comes out, I will be working with my publisher on the first book, which is perfect like it is, so don't worry, go and buy it. You don't have to wait for the renewal. This is my publisher changing some stuff. 5 years' time, I have a dystopian erotica, which will come out. I have a erotic horror, which will come out. I have a MI5 thriller, which will come out. These will either be novels or novellettas or novellas, depending on how far I get with them. So yeah, at least another 3 books out in the next 5 years. My writing goal is just to finish up everything. I'm not going to start anything new. Oh, saying that though, I've just started writing fan fiction, and none of my fans are going to read it because I have an alias name. So, and I won't be promoting it. So, but it's really exciting to write it. And I really, really enjoyed writing it. It's totally different from anything I've done before. Totally, totally different. So I might start writing something new, who knows, but my writing goal is to finish all of the books that are 70% halfway done and to carry on with them.
What advice would you give other independent or self-published authors, especially those that are just starting out in the business? What would you say to them?
I run a author service business called Author Assist, and I do every service from design to promotion, marketing, everything. For anyone who is just starting out, you have a long road ahead of you. I'm going to tell you it's not going to be easy, but there are so many amazing authors out there that are willing to give new authors help. There are amazing groups on Facebook for authors where they can learn about the craft and about marketing and promotion. 2 of my favourites are Authors, which is AWE, as in awesome, and Author Professional Co-op. You can find both of them on Facebook, and I'm in those groups. I actually manage Author Professional. There's so many different resources on there, and everyone's willing to give their opinion and give advice to anyone who asks. It's not a place to promote books, so that's a big no-no. So if you're starting out, just make sure that the book is 100% polished. That means you've had a professional editor. If you can't afford it and you want your neighbour to look at it, then please don't publish your book. I know everyone's in such a hurry to get it out, but wait until it's polished. You only get one chance. If you put a book out that's not ready, you're not going to have readers that are going to follow you. You're going to have bad reviews, bad ratings, and it's going to be a negative time for you. But if you put out a polished novel that's been professionally edited, has an amazing cover, you've got reviews already on there because you've been giving the book out to some people before it was published, that's a big thing you need to do, then you have a fantastic chance. And like I say, if you don't know something, ask. And if you, of course, need help with any kind of promoting, marketing, Amazon, I just contact me, Kantas Author Assist, and I will send you a service sheet with all of my services I do and the prices. So yeah, don't give up. I mean, I'm not trying to sound negative. Make sure it's polished, but if you have to write. If you never publish the damn book, just write it. If you've got it in you, it needs to come out. And if you're a serious author, then you will just be one book after another. But it takes time because you have to multitask between writing and promotion. And if you can afford to find help, then do that. And if you can't, then you need to multitask. You need to set yourself your hours for your promotion, because if you don't promote, you don't get sales. It's as simple as that. If you're an indie author, it's up to you for people to know about your book and who you are. It's not just about your book, it's about you as an author. More chance of selling your book when the reader knows a little bit more about yourself.
Well, Karina, thank you for answering all my questions today. Can you tell all our viewers where we can find your books?
Go out to Amazon. All my books are on Amazon. They're on Lulu. You can go to Books to Read and find them. Barnes & Noble, on iTunes, Google Play, and most bookstores. You can find my writing.
Thank you for coming, Karina. I really appreciate you stopping by and doing an author interview for me so we could learn more about you and your books. Thank you again for coming.
Thank you so much, and thank you for having me on your YouTube interview.